Hello everyone, and thank you so much for coming to our class today. Today we are going to look into how to prepare the IND or investigational new drug application for the USA, so FDA, USA FDA. And we are going also to look into the format in eCTD. First of all, what is IND? When we are going to test a drug for a new indication or a new drug, just simply new drug, we will need to ask for the authorization of the regulatory authority in the country in which we are going to test our new drug. So if this is in Canada, we are going to deal with Health Canada, and we are going to look into preparing a CTA or a clinical trial application. So we go to Health Canada website, search for CTA application. We are going to see a web page. All of the information is there. And then we are going to start completing forms, preparing documents, and then put all of those different documents and forms in a folder. We call that a package, and then we are going to use a specific format that we call CTD or Common Technical Document in order to submit our CTA to Health Canada. CTD, standing for Common Technical Document, is just a set of folders. This is a structure. This is like you having a building where you have 5 folders. Also for a building it will be 5 floors, and in each building you are going to have several rooms, and we are going to add different documents in different rooms. So here I'm going to, just using the analogy, I'm going to talk about the different folders that we have in the eCTD. I can show this to you very easily by just going over, let me see if I can check this. Oh, I cannot check that. Okay, it doesn't matter. I just come back. I just want to show you the eCTD that we can show. Okay, perfect. Here. Look, the format of the eCTD is just, it starts with a folder which is here called, showed 0000. When we open this folder, this is the CTD backbone, okay? And this is for the US, because module 1 for different countries are different. So here I chose the one for FDA, and I found it from FDA website, okay? I was searching for the CTD or eCTD backbone, and I had a zipped file. I opened it and I got this set of folders. So when you prepare your packages, it can be for Health Canada, it can be for FDA, it can be for EMA, it can be for any country in the world. You're going to have to prepare documents and forms, and you cannot just send them or put them all in one folder with no structure and send it or submit that. You will need to use what you see here on the screen. So when you have, you start with your first submission, which is here an IND submission for FDA. You're going to see that you have several modules in your first application of IND. Why? Because you may have amendments or changing the IND. So you're going to have these modules, and each module has folders and subfolders. So FDA wants us to prepare our forms and documents. They also give us templates for the documents that we prepare related to our clinical trials and the drug itself. And then they ask us to put those information or those documents in PDF format in this structure. So in module 1, as you see, this is for US, we have these subfolders. So we are in module 1, And here we have to put the forms. What are the forms that we have to add? Here we have to add the completed form 1571, 2252, and 3674, where you can find these forms on FDA website on the IND web page. I'm also going to show you completed forms here so that you're going to become much more familiar with the content of these forms. Okay, these forms are always asking for information. Okay, now it can be pharmacology, toxicology, but it may also be site information about the investigators. It may be information about the IRB or institutional review boards for ethics. It can be anything based on the regulations. And what is the regulation? This is what we see in front of you, which is, again, we go over the guidance for clinical investigators, sponsors, and IRBs for preparing the investigational new drug application. So coming back to the forms, you can see very well that we are also going to add a cover letter. This cover letter also must be written, because you cannot just send an IND application without no cover letter. I'm also going to show you a cover letter during this lecture. And then we also need to put administrative information, and here you do have several folders and subfolders. Okay, what I'm showing you here is a complete IND that I made. I do this several times per year. I cannot show you, of course, here the documents, but I'm going to, because this is proprietary, but I'm just using this to show you the structure. However, I'm also doing a presentation here showing you examples of selected complete and completed folders with no proprietary information. So as you see, each and every of these folders and subfolders, they need to have a document. If you don't have the document, just leave it blank. It means this folder, if you don't have this document, you just leave it blank. You don't put anything. Then I'm not going to go over each and every of those, folders and subfolders for now. Okay, because you see, you put for the patent, for example, you have to put the patent information, then you have to put the patent certification. Is your corporate counsel or your lawyer is going to prepare that. And then if you have any exclusivity claim, so all of these informations, they are coming from, different departments, different sections in your company. Coming back, and again, I may go over this structure again much more into detail if we have time, but continuing with what we have, this was US and this was module 1. Your CTA application in Canada or your IND application in the US has several modules. So here we just look into module 1, and then we saw that we have, again, forms, cover letters, administrative information, references, etc., promotional materials, labeling. I'm also going to show you label today. Then risk management plan, post-marketing studies. These are all information that FDA wants us to add into our IND application. Now, coming back to module 2, what we have in module 2, we do have the table of introduction, of course, but the table of content. Then we have the quality overall summary, which is coming from the chemistry, manufacturing, and control document. This is as per ICHQ 12. I'm also going to show you an example of CMC today for a drug that I chose. And then, of course, when we have that QoS, which is a brief or a shorter version of the CMC document, or chemistry and manufacturing control, we are going to make that again in PDF, convert it to PDF, review the document, and then add the document in the QoS section. So as you see, you're going to prepare the forms and the documents. You review them, make sure that it's consistent, it has references, it does make sense, of course, based on the information that your company give to you. And then you're going to convert those documents into PDF, and then you're going to add each of those documents in a specific folder in the CTD structure. So if you have, for example, a non-clinical overview, these are the studies that have been done in, again, in animals or in vitro. So here we are going to write, again, a document, sometimes a table, tabulated summary, and we are going to make it in PDF, and then we drag it from our desktop and drop it into this folder. So you see, we are using the structure of CTD with folders, and we are going to put gradually all of the documents that we did for a specific package. So if you are, for example, having a drug master file package, and I may go over that as well in another course, the structure is different, the structure of the eCTD. If you're looking into, again, IND, it's different. If you're looking into new drug application that we sent to FDA, US FDA, again, this is another, not completely different, but the module 1 is going to be different. So again, without going into too much detail, for the module 2 that we were talking about, we also have module 2 to 4, module 2 to 5, module 2 to 6, module 2 to 7. So we are going to have under module 2 to 7 the clinical overview. 2 to 6, we have several non-clinical summaries. Okay, then we have the clinical summaries, literature review. Don't forget that we always use one type of format, any format for the references, but we need to stick to one format like APA, and then we are going to make sure that all of our formats are now consistent all over our application as well. Then you're going to continue, of course, with preparing the documents and completing the forms for your IND application. This is where you are going to start with module 3, where you prepare the information and then you add the information into module 3.3.2 folder, where we do have several, subfolders. And here, for example, for the app, we do have here facilities and equipments. We may have several facilities. We will then need to put several documents describing the facilities and the equipments that we have in those facilities. This is something that comes from your manufacturing department or section in your company. But people who are preparing the clinical, trial application, or for FDA, the IND application, they are going to coordinate the preparation of the package. For example, if someone is in regulatory affairs, the person may not be working on each and every of the tasks. The person is not going to manage the clinical trials, all of them, of course, or managing the dealing with, some contract research organizations, or they are not in the manufacturing. So someone in regulatory affairs is not doing everything, but the person receives the information from different departments, and then the preparation of the package. So here, for the IND package, is, of course, the responsibility of a regulatory affairs professional. So what a regulatory affairs professional does is that he or she is going to complete the forms, look into the regulations, follow the guidelines, preparing the forms, converting all of the information and the forms into PDF, and put them now under each of these folders before sending that application, which is now an IND application, to the regulatory authority in the country in which we are going to test our drug. So now I will go over the again, advantageous agents, if there is any. Then we talk about different, again, excipients names that we may have, again, in the drug. Don't forget that we are in module 332, and here we are looking into the body data. So about the drug, we are explaining what drug we are going to test in humans. Then we also have other sections for the drug products, where we have to just talk about the description of the composition. Okay, you see here we have the pharmaceutical development, we have the manufacturing development, we add here information about the batch formula. So again, who is preparing these documents? These are professionals in other departments. Here, this is the manufacturing. Who is going to receive the information? Someone in regulatory affairs. Who is going to prepare this package? Choosing the right document and form, adding them into the proper folder in the CTD, and then preparing for the CTD for becoming an eCTD, meaning that it's going to be reviewed by an eCTD builder, and then at the end we're going to have the CTD plus a file which is an XML file where it has an index of again, all of the documents. Okay, so coming back to these modules, we have also again, excipients, and now we are going to add, of course, the analytical procedure, justification of specifications, validation of analytical procedures. It's very interesting. Okay, again, they are all about manufacturing. So I will not go again more into details. I just wanted to show you in a nutshell what are the information that we are going to add into an IND application. And when we have this information, where the information is coming from, because when we are in regulatory affairs, for example, a regulatory affairs professional, as I mentioned, is not doing everything in a company. But the regulatory affairs professional knows what documents are needed in order to prepare packages for different types of submissions. Okay, it may be a medical device license application, it may be a cosmetics application, it may be a clinical trial application. Here we talk about the IND application for testing a new drug in the US. So this is for the FDA, I would say responding or meeting the requirements of FDA. So now coming back to module 3.2R, here we are just having other types of information about regulation and regulations. Here we talk about the drug substance. Okay, so here again we talk about the information, general properties, nomenclature, structure, about the manufacturing. So you see there are several types of documents that we are going to add into our IND application. Perfect. So now that you know what we do in module 3, for module 4 and 5, it's a little bit more straightforward. It's always straightforward, but it has less information, because we are looking into a new drug, or we are looking into an existing drug, but we are testing it on the US soil. We are going to test it for a new indication. So M4 is the summary of the studies that have been done in animals. So we can talk about the pharmacology. So we have the primary pharmacology, and here we have different reports. We may have 100 folders here with the study report number 1, 2, 3. And here we just have the report of the study. Then we are going to look into secondary pharmacology. Why? That's because a primary pharmacology means that we are looking into the effect of a drug on a specific disease, hence a specific intracellular pathway or pathways. So we are looking into the pharmacology, what the drug does to the body, to the cells. And of course, since we start pharmacology, we also talk about what the body does to the drug. So here we talk about pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. And of course, we can also look into pharmacogenomics, but here I just talk about the pharmacology and the study reports as well. And first, when we talk about the primary pharmacology, we are just focusing on the effect of your drug on a specific pathway or pathways causing or being the origin of the changes in having symptoms or signs that are characteristics of a disease. And secondary pharmacology, this means that in addition to what our drug does to a specific type of cells for treating a specific disease, the drug may also have other uses or other, I would say, effects on other tissues, other intracellular pathways. This is what we call secondary pharmacology. We may have information about, we may not. But this is, again, part of the submission, again, documents that we, if we have, we can submit. Then we have the safety pharmacology, where again we have different studies, and we are now talking about the adverse drug reactions, possible ones, and this is again about the safety pharmacology. We may have not one report, but we may have 200 reports. Okay, no one goes to 200 reports. I saw that in Pfizer, for example, but not 200. That was about maybe 50 studies, but we may have a few studies, more than 10, 20 sometimes, in this folder as well. So each time that you have a study, you have to create another folder. You call that study report 4, study report 5, and you're going to add the information about the safety pharmacology of study report 3 here. Now we also have, again, pharmacodynamics for the drugs and the interactions. Again, we write down for each study what we did find. Now, for the pharmacokinetics, we also have several placeholders for adding, you see again, study reports. So for each and every of these, I would say, folders, like for the absorption for pharmacology, we have study reports. For the distribution, so we talk about pharmacology here, okay? We talk about, again, absorption, distribution, metabolization, and excretion. Okay, this is, again, the pharmacokinetics. So here we are just having studies, and we are going to, again, give evidences to FDA that we do know about the pharmacology of our drug that we are testing. So this is for metabolization. This is a set of studies where we do have some answers about the effect of the drug and how it is excreted from the body. Then we are having also some studies where we look into the drug interactions with other, maybe with other foods, other drugs as well, and then other pharmacokinetic studies if applicable. Then we look into the toxicology. Don't forget that this is in animal studies, and in animal studies, of course, we also have different regulations and guidelines for respecting the animal rights. And based on, of course, those regulations, we do our animal experimentations. So toxicology is when we are going to expose animals into higher doses. And we, of course, I must say, expose them to single doses. So here we have single dose toxicologies. Then here we have repeated dose. It means we give a dose which is a little bit higher than a dose that we believe that is, again, I would say, we believe that I would say the dose is effective. We give a higher dose, and then we will, of course, write the study report and we add it here. Then we also have the genotoxicology, in vitro and in vivo. Okay, here I just gave you several studies. You may have one study, you may have 10 studies, okay, the study reports. And then we talk about the carcinogenicity. Again, other studies as well. Then we look into the reproduction or development toxicology, you see. And again, we can also go to the location tool and the other toxicology studies.